So, in today's episode, I've invited my sister, Dawn, to come with me and get up on our soapboxes and talk about GLP-1. The information shared in this particular episode is for educational and informational purposes only. We are not doctors, medical professionals, or licensed healthcare providers, and we do not play them on television. This podcast does not offer medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any medical decisions, including those related to GLP-1 medications or any other treatments. Your health is personal, and what works for one person may not work for another. Please do your own research, ask questions, and make informed choices in partnership with your healthcare provider. Let's get to this. Welcome to the Lemon Balm Coaching Podcast, your cozy corner of the world where we'll sip on life's lessons and squeeze the most out of every moment. I'm Melissa, your coach, cheerleader, and maybe even a little bit like that mom who always has a warm hug and the best advice waiting for you. If you're a woman over 40, feeling like life's left you a little lost, aimless, or downright stuck, you're in the right place. This is where your joy, your freedom, and your purpose come back into focus. Together, we'll laugh, learn, and rediscover what makes you come alive, because it's not too late. This is your time. So grab a cup of something warm, settle in, and let's start creating the next most beautiful chapter of your life together. Hey, Dawn.
Hey.
I am really glad you said yes to coming on to the podcast and talking with me about GLP-1, because we've had so many conversations about it with that we know who are using it and the side effects that we're seeing in the people that we love. So thank you so much for agreeing.
Oh, glad to be on this soapbox.
Yeah, really. And I know you have an invested interest in this topic, not necessarily GLP-1, but what we are using GLP-1 for now. And that's weight loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very long history with weight issues.
Our whole family does, really.
Yeah.
It's been something, you know how they talk about the sins of the father will be visited upon the third and fourth generation. I also look at that like the energy that's passed down through the generations. And this weight issue has been one that's just been plaguing our whole family for generations, really.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So for the listeners who might not know what we're talking about, GLP-1 is now like the panacea for weight loss. They are using it left and right. And it's known by its pharmaceutical names of Ozempic, Wegovi, Mounjaro. What are some of the other ones?
Semaglutide.
Yeah, that's like the professional name for it. But like you'll see it advertised, all the people, Ozempic. And Mounjaro and all of those. So we just really wanted to come on and talk about GLP-1 from a health and wellness perspective, not weight loss perspective. Okay, so what's GLP-1? Does anybody even know? Do people really know what they're putting in their bodies?
It is a peptide that is naturally produced in your body.
Yes.
It's naturally produced with diet, exercise, and we need it. It is a naturally occurring peptide, amino acid. I'm not sure of all of the scientific parts of it, but we have to have it to survive.
Yeah, GLP-1 actually was isolated back in the 80s. A scientist named Jens Juul Holst and Joel Habner, those two together, at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center, they isolated GLP-1 in the human hormones. They were the first ones to identify it. And they figured out real quickly that it was a hormone that was secreted by our gastrointestinal tract. It's actually a messenger in our digestion that stimulates insulin in response.
Well, I was going to say, originally, I believe, and quote me, probably know a little bit more than I do. Not quote me, but stop me if I'm wrong. It was originally used in diabetics to help them process insulin and glucose and everything in their bodies.
Well, the problem is GLP-1, they couldn't stabilize it. They isolated it back in the 80s, but they couldn't stabilize it. They couldn't figure out how to make it, how to synthesize it so that we could use it as a medication. They realized what it did. It helped to produce the insulin in response to the glucose, but they couldn't stabilize it. They couldn't figure out how to manufacture it so that they could sell it as a drug. It took a while.
Clearly, they've done that.
Yeah, but it took a while. It wasn't until the 1990s that researchers discovered that the saliva of a Gila monster contains GLP-1. And that is what they were able to synthesize. They were not able to synthesize the human GLP-1. They were able to synthesize the Gila monster GLP-1. This is what I've gotten, off of researchers and things like that. So this isn't like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not the one who figured all this stuff out. I'm just letting you all know that this is what the process. So they took the venom of the Gila monster, broke all of its different components down, and found the one that's like GLP-1. And then that's what they've synthesized, and they're putting into all of our fun semi-glucose injections.
Hook me up.
Yeah. Yeah. But you did mention it is a peptide. Yeah. Yeah, it's a peptide. Yeah. The actual peptide is called Exendin 4. That's the one that they got from the Gila monster. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we naturally produce it. There
Correct.
are ways to naturally raise your GLP-1 in your system if you care to look into it. I haven't looked into it, but there are foods that you can eat. There are things that you can do to help raise it naturally in your own body without adding Gila monster spit.
Exactly. And
I'm sorry, we're on a soapbox. I'm not holding back.
We really are. We're totally on a soapbox. And I know people who have used GLP-1 shots.
I know a lot. I know a lot.
And there are tons of side effects. Let me pull up some of those side effects right now, just in case you don't do your own research. We want to share with you. Some of the side effects could be thyroid tumors, including cancer, pancreatitis, gallbladder problems, hypoglycemia, kidney problems, increased heart rate while you're at rest, a change in vision with people with type 2 diabetes, depression or thoughts of suicide, serious allergic reactions, and even more. I mean, I've heard of people are talking about Ozempic face now and Ozempic babies even. These are side effects. So one of the things that I read about the shots, it's the reason people are losing weight so fast on these shots is because they're losing muscle mass. They're not losing fat right off the bat. They're losing muscle mass to begin with. And that's why you see people with the sunken face who are on the shots.
Well, and their butt too. It's Ozempic butt, they call it, where it's super, super sad, like extraordinarily saggy and flat.
Yeah,
because
you're losing. Left. Yeah, because first you're losing muscle, and then you start to lose the fat. And honestly, as we age, fat in our face is our friend.
And in our butt because of falling.
It prevents the saggy, and it prevents that hollowed out look.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Ozempic baby thing. Have you heard about that? People are getting pregnant who are on birth control taking Ozempic because the Ozempic actually speeds up the absorption of your birth control so that it doesn't last as long as you think it should. Anyway, just side effects out the wazoo. Like, who are some of the people that you knew on the shot, and what were some of their side effects? You don't have to share names, obviously, but what were some of the side effects they were seeing?
So I know some people that are on a really, really, really low dose, and they're doing well. And they've been on it for one lady 5 or 6 months now, and she's doing well. She's not lost any weight whatsoever, none. But her inflammation is better. She's not as puffy, around, her neck, eyes, that type of thing. So she's sticking with it because she feels like it's beneficial for her. I know of someone, I don't know her personally, but I know of someone, she had weight loss surgery, but she didn't change anything. She continued to drink Diet Coke. She continued to eat chips and sugar and, well, the weight loss surgery didn't work for her. She's unusual. And so she decided to go on, I think she's on Wegovi. And so she's lost all the weight that she regained and she looks good, but she still has not changed anything. And she is vomiting 5, 6 times a day, almost like a bulimic would make herself vomit. When she eats, she's vomiting. Yeah, but she's okay because she's skinny now.
Right, but that's one of the side effects of the medication is nausea. These are the mild side effects, right?
Oh,
Nausea,
yeah.
vomiting, diarrhea, stomach upset, and all of that. The person that I know who was taking the shots, TMI people, TMI, but like they missed work multiple days because they had poop running down their leg. They could not control, they couldn't control it.
You have to really decide, is
oh
it
my
worth
gosh,
that?
is it worth it? Exactly. And
Yeah.
the nausea that they were experiencing, the diarrhea, just terrible. And it was that deciding moment. Are these side effects worth something that doesn't guarantee it's going to work? First of all, it doesn't guarantee, no one's making any guarantees that you'll lose weight. But also, it's just like weight loss surgery, right? If you don't stick to the protocols, you will put it all back on.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to
And then
stay on.
some.
You have to stay on these shots, or you will gain it back. That's,
I've heard some people that said, "Oh, I went off of them and I haven't gained any weight back." And, we don't know what their dose was. We don't know how long they were on it, so good. I
right,
hope you never do.
right.
I really do. I hope you never gain it back. One of the side effects that I've heard of, I've not heard anybody who's had it, I've just heard of this in some different podcasts I listen to, is that they're asking people who are on any of the GLP-1 therapies before they have surgery to go off cold turkey for a minimum of 2 weeks, because what's happening is during surgery, because one of the things that the GLP-1 does is it slows your digestion really, really slow. And so you stay full longer, which is a good side effect, right? But what they're finding, and this is just recently that I heard this on a podcast, what they're finding is that the people who are on these therapies are going in for surgery, and because they're not emptying their digestive system, the whole thing here to the groin, they're having severe vomiting during surgery. People are aspirating, during surgery. They're
Right.
having to stop. They're having to bring them out of anesthesia. I mean, I don't know all the things. I just know the little bit that I've heard. They're putting kids as young as 6 or 7 on this now, but they're also putting people in their 60s and 70s. I'm sorry, I'm 59 almost. The chances of me needing surgery in the future are greater than they were when I was younger. And so, do I want to go into surgery, even off of Ozempic or whatever, for 2 weeks and risk aspirating, choking, and dying during surgery? No.
If you think about this whole thing logically, everything you said just makes total sense, 100% sense.
Sure.
Because this shot, one of its goals is to slow down your digestion,
Yeah.
because that makes you feel full longer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anybody listening, but my digestion is slow. My
Enough.
digestion is so slow and sluggish all the time. I half the time I feel full all day long after just eating breakfast, because my digestion is so slow. I don't need any help slowing it down anymore.
Yeah.
But if your digestion is slow, that things are going to get backed up. Think about like when you eat, right? And you're enjoying it so much and you don't want to stop, and you keep eating because it tastes so good. You can actually feel the fullness up in your throat. And that's what GLP-1 is doing for people. It's making them feel full longer because it's slowing down their digestion. But if we think about ourselves as whole beings, right? Mind, body, spirit, holistically. If we slow our digestion down, everything backs up. Everything backs up. And just think about this. The same blood that flows through your stomach and your intestines also flows through your brain.
Mm-hmm.
We wonder why people are foggy when they're on these GLP-1 shots, right? Because their blood is full of all these toxins that they can't get out of their system. Yuck.
A little bit of background on me, and we talked about this before we started, is that I have been overweight since I was, I think 3 is when I started gaining weight. So my
Just
weight.
hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Everybody. She was 3 years old when she started gaining weight and was considered obese.
Yeah.
3 years old. Okay.
So when I started the first grade, I was about 40 pounds heavier than every other kid. I weighed 86 pounds on the first day of first grade. When I started the third grade, I was 120 pounds. Most third graders are under 100 pounds. I lost weight and weighed myself at 325 when my baby, I have 2, so when my youngest was maybe 6 or 9 months old. So there was a little bit of baby weight in there, but still I was 325. When I turned 50 and went to the doctor for my exam, I was 300 and something, like 312, 315. I was having chest pains. I was having pain in my left arm. I had become type 2 diabetic. He didn't tell me that at the time. I was on cholesterol medication, blood pressure medication, and he was about to put me on insulin. When I told him I've had enough, I have a 9 and 10-year-old, and I can't do this anymore, and I am signed up for weight loss surgery. And he went. So I had weight loss surgery when I was 50, and I am going to be 59 in May. So 58 plus, 8+ years. And it's wonderful when you first have it. It's great because, you can eat half an egg and be full. But, you have to, I believe, and the doctors will tell you, you have to spend the time. For the first 8 or 9 months, your stomach does all the work. All your weight comes off. You could literally eat Reese's peanut butter cups for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and still lose weight.
And I've known people who have had weight loss surgery who have done that.
I do
There
too.
was a lady I watched and she ate 5 M&Ms and that was her dinner. I was like,
yeah,
that just doesn't seem right.
it's not.
It's not.
So if you don't change, you're not going to change, right? If you don't make the changes here, nothing is going to change here.
And that's one of the things watching your journey that's been the most inspirational is
For me too.
You made the changes. And I know that people have said to you, and I just want to encourage
you take the easy way out.
A surgery, voluntarily amputating part of your body is not easy, no matter what the goal is, right? It would be like walking into the doctor and me saying, my left arm doesn't serve me anymore, take it off.
Well, and I did amputate. 90% of my stomach was literally removed from my body. It was an amputation. I had the sleeve surgery.
So it's not easy. That part's not easy.
That part is easy. No, that part is easy because insurance will pay for it now. It's widely accepted. You can get it done almost any city,
Anywhere.
with a good size. I mean, that part is really easy. The part that is so hard is right here.
The mental part, exactly, because you have to make changes. Lifestyle changes are actually the key.
Yeah.
Because the same lady who ate those M&Ms, she gained all the weight back plus some.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you said, the first several months, your body's doing the work for you. But after that, you have to put in the time. And what I loved about you is you started right away. You didn't wait for the 8th month or the 9th month. You figured out a way of eating for you that works.
I was 50 and almost like on my deathbed. And so when I decided, and my husband and I talked it over and we looked into options and I made the decision, and it was a decision. It was a heart change. It was a turning away from everything that I'd ever done. I made the decision to change, and not only change, but to learn how to live differently. I am not perfect. Okay. I found a way of eating that made sense to me using whole foods, real food, staying away from, they call them frankenfoods. It is a low carb lifestyle. When I eat carbs, I'm very careful about it. I just choose higher quality, better foods than I used to. I still eat peanut butter. I still eat chocolate, but I choose 85% dark chocolate, which is a bitter chocolate, over milk or like sugar-free stuff. If I eat sugar-free, like,
Sorry, here we go with TMI again. Because boy, I know exactly what you're getting ready to say.
so there are some really delicious sugar-free chocolates out there and sugar-free desserts. But I already had a digestion issue, and then I took out 90% of my stomach. And so my stomach doesn't do this anymore.
Yeah.
My stomach is the size of a smaller banana, not a baby, but a smaller banana. And literally, this is all that my stomach does. It
Right. So
doesn't.
for those that are listening, for those that are listening, like our stomach is supposed to squeeze in all directions as it digests. But what Dawn is describing is hers only squeezes in one direction.
One direction and very small.
So the
And so my
motility is reduced.
Yes, and I don't produce the same acids anymore. What they removed was the part of my stomach that produces like ghrelin, and which is a hunger hormone, which was great at first, but now I feel it more. But that's a long story. It produces a lot of the hormones that are secreted during
The digestive process.
digestion. Right? I don't have that anymore. So I have to be very gentle with myself. But when I eat some of those,
sugar-free options,
yeah, my stomach doesn't handle it well, and neither do the people around me.
right? Because those sugar-free, those sugar alcohols really do a number on your digestive system. So if you have any digestive issues at all, like I have a very sluggish digestion, you're missing part of your digestion. Our dad is missing a huge part of his digestion. Do you see a theme here? Do you hear a theme in our family? Anyway, if you're missing, if you're having trouble with digestion, those sugar-free options are not always the best options. If you have never gone on to Amazon and read the reviews for the sugar-free Haribo gummy bears, because that's what we're talking about when we're talking about these sugar-free candies. Yeah, just not a pleasant experience.
It is probably the funniest thing I've ever read in my life, but I know it's funny because it's true.
It's so true.
So anyway, because of my weight loss surgery and that decision to make changes, I've been able to keep most of the weight off, which is highly unusual. A lot of people, if you don't make the changes, you gain the weight back. Now, 2.5 years, actually just over 2 years ago, it's like 2 years and 2 months now, our brother died from colon cancer.
Yep.
Again, a digestive tract issue. Yep. Something that our family struggles with. Right before that, my mother-in-law died. While Chris was actively dying, my oldest son ran away. When he came back before I got home.
So
Um,
everything I hear you saying is stress, stress,
stress,
stress, stress, stress. Yep.
stress
Mhm.
with capital S.
Yep.
Um, and so I started a journey of gaining. I had a nervous breakdown, um, ended up in the hospital, um, gained a little bit more. And I worked with you as a coach, not as a sister, as a coach for 6 months, and kind of learned some things about myself. And I'm at the point now, it's been several months since we worked together, but I'm at the point now where, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
This stuff is gone. I've worked through these things and it's time to move forward. And so I'm using the tool that I was given in weight loss surgery of a smaller stomach and the things that I've learned over these years. And I'm on a downward trend now.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to feel better. And, we're talking about GLP-1 therapies, and a lot of the girls that I know that had weight loss surgery that it didn't work for them, they didn't make the change here and here,
Yeah.
or here.
Right.
And
Right.
they just, the magic pill that they did of surgery isn't working anymore. And so they're looking for a new magic pill.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Now,
important to remember when we're talking about GLP-1 is this is one
yeah,
isolated hormone in our bodies.
yeah,
And hormones, I don't know if we talk about this enough. Hormones are just messengers.
yeah.
They're not the problem,
No, they just tell your body parts what to
right?
do.
Nor are they the solution.
Yeah.
They're just messengers. And with this GLP-1 shot, they are placing way too much pressure on this one hormone to accomplish a lifestyle goal.
Well, and a lifestyle goal is exactly what health is, not weight
Absolutely.
loss,
Right?
health. I know some skinny people that are fat,
Oh,
just they're
absolutely.
not healthy. They're
Yep.
not healthy. Their bodies are not healthy. They carry it in their face, their neck, whatever. Um, have I thought about GLP-1? Well, when I first started hearing about it, man, that sounded good. It really is a magic pill. It's even more magical than weight loss
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah.
And look, you could get it, soapbox here. You don't even have to have a prescription for this. You don't have to ever see a doctor.
Well, I thought it was very interesting. They have all these commercials out there now. Wegovi, Ozempic,
Oh, no.
hers, all these
Hers and
commercials.
Hims.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're targeting women with hers.
Yeah.
Anyway, all these commercials. Well, this morning, okay, so first, all of these other companies talk about it being a compounded semaglutide, GLP-1, all this stuff.
Tirzepatide. Yeah. All the
I
different.
heard a Mounjaro commercial this morning. They never once mentioned semaglutide. They never once mentioned GLP-1, but they made it sound really, really appealing. But they did not tell you what it was that they were going to put into your body. So marketing, marketing, marketing. It's all about marketing. Oh my gosh. And they are making hand over fist. And here's the other thing that's really interesting. Until 2033, the company Novo Nordisk
Owns.
exclusively manufactures semaglutide formulations. They are the
So,
only company allowed to produce this formulation. So this company out of India is getting, oh my gosh,
so one
so
of the
rich.
one of the podcasts that I was listening to or watching on YouTube or something talked about that, and the whole the whole conversation that I was listening to was, not only do they own the rights, um, they are they pharmaceuticals, like, so the whole,
Mhm.
you know, um, are recommending children as young as 6 get on this, because of the obesity epidemic in this world. Their goal, because once you go on this, their goal is for you to be on it your entire life. So your 6-year-old child who's chubby, or even like I was, I mean, 86 pounds in the first grade, I was 40 pounds heavier. I was morbidly obese. A lot of different reasons for that that we'll never know all of. Instead of teaching that child a healthy lifestyle, they're convincing their parents
Mm-hmm.
to put them on this medication for 75, 80 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
their entire life.
Well, and we don't know all of the long-term effects yet of
No.
this medication because it's really just now becoming
Well,
so
it's
it's in
it's
trend.
new
Yeah.
in the timeline of history. It's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
But you can choose to just blindly do what your doctor says, or you can say, "I'll make an appointment for a couple weeks. Let
Yeah.
me look at it."
Well, talking about listening to what your doctor says. I did that. I did that for years. I did that for
Sure.
years. I just did what they said for so many reasons, right? Part of it's our generation. We grew up in a time where we didn't run to the doctor for everything. So if we did,
Yeah,
listen to what they had to say.
yeah,
But now we have to go to the doctor for everything. Your kid can't go back to school without a doctor's note. I mean, like
I know.
that's a machine for another conversation. But I listened for years and years and years. And then I got to that point where things were wrong. And I'm going to my doctor and they're going, we don't know. We can't figure it out. I don't know what's going on with you. And I got to the point where I just said, I'm not going to listen to them blindly anymore. And I'm going to make my own decisions for for my well-being in my body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And my doctors did not like that, but I did it.
of course not.
And I fired them. I just didn't go back. I fired them. I didn't go back
Good.
because they weren't listening to me.
I did buy into that, and I've had depression for many, many, many years, but it was found after my son was born, after my baby, my youngest, and he is almost 19, and so I started taking
Okay.
Effexor.
Okay.
Anyway, most people never ever come off Effexor.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell you, I didn't tell anybody, but when I was coaching with you, I made the decision to come off of it, even though I was coming off of a nervous breakdown, because I had started like learning about some of the toxins and some of the garbage that I was putting in my body. And so I took 6 months to come off of it, and even another month or two before I told people I had done it.
Yeah.
Don't trust doctors anymore. Trust your body. Listen to your body. Don't just jump on medicines. Don't just hop on every train that goes by.
But we don't know how to listen to our bodies anymore.
No.
You've learned, I've learned, Dad
Yeah.
is learning, but we don't know how to listen to our bodies
No.
anymore. And we start the process of ignoring what our body needs. We start this
Yeah.
process as infants now.
Yeah.
Because we want to get our kids on a feeding schedule. We want to make, and then we sit them down at breakfast, lunch, dinner. What if they're not hungry? What if they're not hungry at lunch?
Yeah.
What if they're not hungry at dinner? And we teach our kids to ignore the signals from their body starting from infancy now.
Sure.
I did
Sure.
it.
We all do that.
I did it. Yeah. I wanted my kids on a feeding schedule to make my life easier. Yeah.
Pre-dinner snacks so that they're not grumpy while you're trying to cook dinner for everybody.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
yeah.
learning how to listen to your body is a
Yep.
huge, 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 huge part of what I do with my clients.
Well, the thing about the GLP-1 is it turns off your body signals.
Absolutely. It's more of it's more ignoring what your body needs. And that's really what it comes down to. They are giving you a chemical that tells your body to stop doing what it should normally do.
Which is digest your food.
Which is digest your freaking food. Now just imagine 10 years from now, all these people, they're going to be so unhealthy because their body's not going to be absorbing nutrients correctly.
Oh, well, let me tell you, just to interrupt really quickly, I have to take vitamins 3 times a day with my breakfast, with my lunch, and at bedtime, because I don't already absorb enough nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine if I were to add, like a lot of weight loss patients have done, add whatever name brand, Wegovi, Manjaro, too, and already, because I don't have a stomach to absorb the nutrients.
Mhm.
Can you imagine what that's doing to them? But nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
Like you said, the long term, nobody knows what that is yet.
It makes me wonder, and like I said at the beginning, I'm not a doctor. This is just my sister and I talking. I wonder
Yeah,
if people are gonna end up with diseases like Crohn's disease, these major digestive disorders that their bodies just don't even function anymore as a result of turning off
all
their
the receptors. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my
Well,
gosh.
and I don't think people realize either, because of what I've learned as a weight loss patient,
Mhm.
as a way of eating coach, because I did go into the coaching for a while just to try to help people understand that. And then with our brother passing and just trying to figure out why. I mean, our brother was 55,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
84 days
people
from
don't
diagnosis to death.
people don't realize what your digestive system is. Just a short history. Chris, our brother, didn't want to have an invasive where they go up through your behind and look around with the camera,
Colonoscopy.
colonoscopy. So he ordered a test
The
online,
Cologuard.
Cologuard test. The thing is, those particular tests only look for certain markers
Mhm.
that are found in it just a certain type of cancer. And so the type of cancer that he had was not a colon cancer. It did not have the markers of a regular colon cancer, or and it because he didn't have the invasive colonoscopy, they couldn't see it. It was a different type of cancer that settled in his colon.
Mhm.
We don't want to have a colonoscopy because of the fear or whatever. But, there are things that we need to do to protect our bodies. And that's one of the things. Another thing is learning how to recognize signals. There were a lot of signals that he missed. So we need to know how to recognize them. And if we're taking something like GLP-1, but by taking that and turning off those signals,
Yeah.
it's not a risk for me. It's not something that I'm willing to take.
There is no magic pill.
No,
I
there's
hate to
not.
be the one to tell you there is no magic pill.
No.
There's one thing that works, and it's lifestyle change. And it's not about calories in, calories out. It's not about working out 7 days a week. It is literally a lifestyle change and finding the lifestyle change that works for you, because it's
Yeah,
not the same
not one
for
size fits all.
everyone. There is not one size fits all of
Mhm.
diet. And when I say diet, I mean way of eating. So there's not
Mhm.
one size fits all of diet and exercise.
Yeah,
We have to
yeah.
find the way that works for us individually. And you know what? There's maybe GLP-1 is working for you. I just, like Dawn, I'm not willing to risk it with all of the things that I already have going on in my body, my digestion already being slow enough, knowing my family's history, my brother, my dad, my sister. I'm not willing to risk it. No.
Well, and the girl that I was talking about before that had weight loss surgery, and now she's re-lost all of her weight, and she
Mhm.
she feels great, but she's literally puking
Constantly.
4, 5, 6 times a day.
Well,
How does that feel great?
and like I said, the person who was missing work because they had poop running down their leg constantly
Mhm.
and no control over their bowels.
Yeah, that's not feeling good to me.
No,
Um,
no.
and as an obese person since I was 3, the thing that we think makes us feel good is being skinny,
Mhm.
fitting into that size clothing, having people, say, "Oh, you're so thin." I mean, is that what you're feeling good about? Because vomiting while you're at work, right after you eat, when you're about to go on a phone call or a Zoom or walk into a meeting or having to leave a meeting because, I mean, I had a girlfriend that did that while she was pregnant. She had that emesis,
Oh,
whatever.
hyperemesis. Mhm.
Yes, right. So she vomited a lot, and as soon as she was done being pregnant, it went away. That's understandable to say to somebody, "Oh my gosh, I'm having really bad morning sickness, I'll be back." But, "Oh, I'm taking Mounjaro, I need to go vomit."
Yeah.
It's not the way to start a call.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's a soapbox, so
It
I'm
is a
saying what I
soapbox,
think.
but it is a soapbox, and lifestyle change is the key, but
It is.
it's more than lifestyle change because you can power through anything for a while, but eventually you'll end up kind of shifting backwards into old patterns. So really the key is figuring out the pattern, figuring out the
Mhm.
pattern and adjusting the pattern. Like, what is it that keeps you going back to the old pattern?
Mhm.
What is it that keeps you running back to the things that have you, stuck on that
Yeah.
weight loss cycle, weight loss, wheel?
Well, Tom and I, my hubby, we sit down and watch TV after everything's done. Like, after I'm done making dinner, he's done with work. We've sat down as a family, whether it's just the two of us or the four of us, whatever. Then I go into cleaning the kitchen and, making coffee, making lunches for the boys, blah, blah, blah. Then we sit down and watch TV. Well, we had gotten into a habit of having a scotch or a bourbon
Mhm.
and a quarter of a cup of peanuts.
Mhm.
And then it became
A half a cup of peanuts.
half a cup of peanuts.
Uh-huh.
And then it became just peanuts, not even any scotch. So I realized at Christmas, like, okay, this is really getting out of hand. So now I'm having a cup of tea at night.
Yeah, and it's making those realizations, stopping long enough to make those realizations, to not be judgmental over the whole thing, but go, "Oh, wow, isn't that interesting? We already ate
Look
the
at
entire bag. Hmm,
Yeah,
we might wanna look at what's causing that. Like, what is it
yeah,
that made me wanna eat a whole bag of peanuts? What is it that
uh-huh,
made me wanna eat peanut butter every day?" We joke about that a lot. But, like, what is it? What is it? More than likely
yeah,
it more than likely, it's old programming, old wiring in your brain,
habits.
habits, old wiring and old programming. Absolutely, the
Yeah,
things that keep us stuck. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, do you have anything else to say about GLP-1?
Do your research.
Yeah.
Just if nothing else, if your doctor says, "Let's put you on this," go, "Let me just go home and do can you give me one of those flyers?
Mhm.
Or what's the website?" Just read the side effects and see if you really wanna go through that. Do even the smallest amount of research.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no magic pill. It's on you. And as awful as that is to say, it's on you. It's your decision in the long run to either, I hate to say it, go blindly and do whatever somebody tells you to do, or to stand up and say, "Just hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Let me think about it."
One of the things that we haven't talked about is, the amount of weight that people are losing. They're losing about 30 pounds. That seems to be the average weight loss on these shots. And the commercials, "I've lost 30 pounds. I've lost 30 pounds. I lost 32 pounds, 31 pounds, 30,
34, yeah.
25 pounds." It's all right around that 30-pound range. And the reason that people, from what I understand, the reason that this shot is so popular now is because Hollywood started using it several years ago when,
For fast weight
for
loss.
fast weight loss for a movie role. And you know what? For a Hollywood star, 30 pounds is a lot. These Hollywood these actresses probably weigh 110 pounds. 30 pounds is a lot. But for
Mhm.
somebody who is 325 pounds, 30 pounds is not going to make that big of a difference. I'm sorry to say that. This is our soapbox. 30 pounds for someone who is over 300 pounds is not much. And
Now
then
I have about
they still have a lot of work to do after that.
Well, and you've got to find a way to rebuild that muscle,
Yeah, you do.
and that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Building muscle is hard, and in order to build muscle, you have to have the good quality protein. But
Mhm.
if your digestion is messed up from that, protein protein takes a lot of space in your stomach and your digestive system because of how your body processes it, how your stomach digests it, how the saliva digests. I mean, if your system, your brain, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but if your brain has been told for 6 months or however long you're on the Manjaro or whatever it is, that you're already full and you don't need more, how difficult is it going to be to eat enough natural, high metabolic protein? How hard is it going to be for your body to eat that and digest it? It's going to take, I would think, months after coming off of that stuff to be able
Yeah.
to eat enough to rebuild that muscle.
Yeah.
I don't know that as a fact. I'm just thinking because I'm learning how the body works, right?
Yeah. But I think it's also so important to remember that you are mind, body, and spirit. You're not just body. And GLP-1 only targets the body.
Yeah.
It's not targeting the things that make you work as a human, the spirit and the mind. Yeah.
So a weird analogy, but this is something. I was a hairdresser. I became a hairdresser in 1982. People would say, oh, does anybody know somebody who does this kind of hair or that kind of hair? Who specializes in this or that? And I would say, find somebody in public that you like the way their hair looks.
Yes.
Ask them where they went and try it. See if you like it. So for me, the way of eating that I found, I was watching this girl who was a weight loss patient who was drinking this coffee that looked amazing. And I'm like, oh, I can still drink coffee. Sent her a message. And she goes, this is what it is. Look it up for yourself. So I looked it up and I started reading about this way of eating and what this coffee was. It's just a protein coffee. And reading about that it's natural foods, natural fats, natural carbs, it's low glycemic index. It made sense to me. So I tried it and I liked it. Some people might look at carnivore and go, ooh, I could do that. Give it a try. Rather than put a GLP-1 in your body that your doctor just goes, oh, hey, I got some coupons because this company gave me coupons and I can get it for you for $75 a month right now. So why not try the carnivore? Why not try the keto? Why not try the Atkins? Why not try something healthy first and find one that you get? I understood the way of eating that I'm following. I understood that you should eat real food, not processed, not boxed, not bagged. Try that first.
This isn't what your body wants. Your body wants to function. Your body wants to be healthy. And this shuts it off. This shuts off your natural intuition, your natural ability to understand what your body needs. So like Dawn and I were both saying, it's really about shifting your lifestyle and shifting your mindset. And I do have a free gift for you, something that can help you get that mind, body, and spirit back in harmony again. It's called Align Your Life to Create Harmony, a simple 4-part framework. And this guide is for you if you've spent years giving to others and now feel disconnected from yourself. Or maybe you're struggling to align your whole mind, body, and spirit. Or maybe you're ready to reclaim your inner alignment and sense of purpose. Or maybe you want to feel more at ease and in flow with your life. So just grab your free guide today. I'll put the link in the show notes. And you can begin aligning your life and creating harmony so that you can take your first step toward a life in alignment. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next time. Thanks so much for spending a little time with me today on the Lemon Balm Coaching Podcast. I hope you're walking away with something that sparks joy, hope, or a fresh perspective for your journey. If you loved today's episode, let's keep the conversation going. You can find more inspiration, coaching tips, and resources over at my website, lemonbalmcoaching.com. Don't forget to follow me on social media for encouragement and updates, and you'll find me on Instagram and Facebook at Lemon Balm Coaching. And hey, if you're looking for a supportive, uplifting community of amazing women just like you, come join us in the Reignite Your Flame Facebook group. It's a safe, welcoming space where we share, grow, and cheer each other on. And you can find the link on my website or just search for Reignite Your Flame on Facebook. Remember, honey, just be yourself. The world needs what only you have to offer. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.